Oh, God.
Oh, that was perhaps one of our messiest openings to date.
I feel like you guys know me intimately now.
So this is the chapter 1 of Matthew McConaughey's new autobiography. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Matthew McConaughey.
I think the thing that upsets me most about him is the way his last name is spelled.
McConaughey. Too many G's and H's.
It was a lot. It's a lot.
I guess a lot of people love his autobiography. I think it came out like last year, a year and a half ago. People at the library go apeshit for it. I've heard it's really good, but
I've seen people like on TikTok read parts of it, like for I don't know why, but it's a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to take it out sometime. Maybe we'll do a dramatic reading.
I was gonna say this is not a book club. This is the Swamp, which is an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
My name is Dara.
I'm Emily.
And we are covering The Wolf of Wall Street. If you didn't get that from our really awesome, clean, and professional opening, we are covering the 2013 film Wolf of Wall Street as part of our Male Manipulator March month. We are just covering movies that are generally those, like, red flag, if a straight white man really loves them type beat films. And this is actually pretty interesting that we've like reached this sort of peak, because to me, you plug into the algorithm, Fight Club plus American Psycho equals Wolf of Wall Street. Like, while I was watching, like, having watched all these movies in such close succession to one another, I'm like getting such similar, like, I don't know, I'm just jumbling them all and comparing them so deeply in my head, and I feel like it's like the unself-awareness of Fight Club meets the, like, critique on capitalism and Wall Street of American Psycho, and, like, this is the baby of those two films.
I was gonna say, it feels like it takes all of the terrible parts of it. Because this doesn't, like, those movies are both commentaries on the types of men shown in those movies. This movie does not feel like that at all. It feels like a glorification, even though, like, I know that's probably not what Martin Scorsese was trying to do at all. But, like, I understand why so many shitty men decided to go to business school after watching this. And I get it. I totally get it.
It is definitely, I think, a criticism, but in a way that is, like, so fun and entertaining and doesn't show you the side of the people who are, like, affected by those decisions. Like, you don't see, there's no poor people in this movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the closest thing to a poor person we see is an FBI agent. Like, that's not, I think if you want to get a room full of undergrad business majors riled the fuck up, start doing that Matthew McConaughey chest beating thing and just watch a room of boys go ape shit. If you want to get laid, like, that is a surefire way. Just start doing that shit and everyone's gonna think you're the cool girl. That's horrible advice. You do not want to get with any of those type of people.
What you want to do is look for the one guy in that room that's not beating his chest and is just so confused about what the fuck is going on. Who just
take
did
him
not get
home.
the memo. Yeah, you're taking him home.
But yeah, this movie does feel like, in the way that I was kind of saying in Fight Club, the thing about Fight Club that rubs me the wrong way is that, like, the Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt character is supposed to be this, like, horrible representation of all these bad, toxic traits, but he's so cool and he's so sexy. And that's the same thing here with Jordan Belfort. It's like, he's embezzling money and he's awful. Oh, but he's so fun and he's so charming and he's such a fun, rad guy that I'm just like, okay, so this... And also, Jordan Belfort
makes a cameo.
Well, yeah, he's in the movie, but he also, like, consulted. He was a big part of it, basically. So, like, this can be as much of a commentary on, like, how shitty billionaires in America are, but, like, he literally was there on set. So, like, how much of a critique can it really be?
Exactly. Yeah, no. This movie, I get what it was trying to do, but I don't think it did it.
I think it would have done it if he wasn't a real guy. Like, if Jordan Belfort straight up was a fictional character from the mind of whoever wrote this movie, then I think that it would be brilliant. But I think that this is a real guy who wrote a memoir so he could make money so that he could pay off all the money he owed after he went to jail.
I was scrolling his Instagram after this.
He's doing fine.
He's huge on TikTok. Yeah, oh my god. He's so fucking rich.
He's huge on TikTok. Yeah, I would say go check out Jordan Belfort's TikTok, but, like, maybe don't. But yeah, he does like and he talks about this movie all the time. He did make money off of this movie, which he did have to pay some of it back to the government for like crime reasons. I think he was charged with like $100 million. This might be a fake number that I'm making up, but like he went to jail for 22 months. And then afterwards they were like, out of all the money that you like embezzled, you owe the government like $100 million. And I think he's paid like 10 of it to date, but he sold the rights to his biography to Martin Scorsese for $1 million, which I don't know how much of that he actually kept. But then he made $250,000 when the movie started filming, and then again when it aired or like released in theaters. So he made $500,000 off of this movie that we know of. I'm sure he's made other, like, I'm sure he gets to like fucking get paid to speak at shit because of this movie. You know what I mean? He's definitely profited off of this. I think that's not a question.
Well, this movie was fucking huge. It made close to $400 million.
But it's tough because this movie's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hate it, but I really like it.
I was going to say, that's like the thing that came to mind first when I started watching this. I was like, unfortunately, like, I really like this movie because it's fucking entertaining. It's not, this is not Martin Scorsese's fucking Irishman type shit. This is a very fun movie. And this is honestly probably one of my favorite roles that Leonardo DiCaprio has stepped into. I think he did a great job. I think he should have won the Oscar for this instead of for the fucking Revenant, where he's just heavy breathing. It
was actually pretty interesting. I was looking up the Oscar stats, as I always do with any film, and so this one was nominated for 5 and won 0, but Matthew McConaughey won Best Actor this year for Dallas Buyers Club. So, good year for Matthew McConaughey all around, as far as, being in,
that was a good
recognized movie. Shit. And then this was the year that 12 Years a Slave, to the year that 12 Years a Slave won Best Picture. So that's what it was up against. It was up against a couple other things, too. I don't know if I would argue that it should have won Best Picture. I don't really think so. But,
it's too fun.
It's up for 5.
It's like
too funny, right?
It's too fun to win Best Picture,
I could have seen it, honestly, winning something like editing. I kind of like the editing of this movie. I can't say I like the pacing. This movie's 3 hours long, and for what? Like, I know that we probably sound like broken records, being like, we love a 90-minute film. We hate 3-hour movies. But that's just not true. Some of my favorite movies are 3-4-hour movies. This movie just didn't need to be 3 hours long.
At least, like, if it was just even cut down by a half hour, 2.5, I could have done it. It just felt daunting. I watched this in 2 parts.
There were even scenes that I'm like, why is this happening? That, like, really, that 14-minute scene of Jonah Hill choking on a piece of cold-cut turkey, like, why was that there even at all?
That one, if I had to choose something versus that to stay, I'd probably choose that one to stay, though. That was probably, it's just a fun scene. I really like it. It's funny. I think Jonah Hill really shines in that scene as well.
Jonah Hill shines in this whole fucking movie. He's the star of this film.
Oh, 110%. Him and Leonardo DiCaprio's chemistry is insane.
Off the charts. And I would say, though, like, I think he did get a supporting actor nom for this, but like he is this movie for me. Like, he's the thing that keeps me when I'm 2 full hours in and checking the clock. Like, it's Jonah Hill that ropes me back in, and then I'm like, that's why I'm still here. That's why I stick around.
For me, it's Jonah Hill, and then it's also Jonah Hill's outfits in this movie. Because I want them so bad. The first scene that he shows up in, that fucking shirt that he owns, I would kill someone for that. It's like, it's different, what is it when colors are really pale?
Pastel,
yeah. It's like 4 different, like, pastels on, like, on each arm and then, like, each side of the shirt. It's gorgeous.
How much do you want to bet that if I went into a time machine right now and I went to an Urban Outfitters around the time that this movie got, like, popular, that they had, like, a Jonah Hill inspired, like, not by name, but like Urban Outfitters was taking notes.
Oh, for sure. 110%.
Yeah, I love his teeth in this movie. I'm so mesmerized by his teeth in this film. I'm obsessed.
It's outstanding.
And I'm sure everyone knows, like, this is, like, again, I'm just regurgitating the top IMDb facts, but he wanted to be in this movie so bad that he decided that he would take the lowest amount of pay that would still allow you to be in the Screen Actors Guild for a movie. So he got paid $60,000 to be in this film, and he's literally has the second most amount of screen time out of everyone. God. Leonardo DiCaprio made $10 million off of this movie, and Jonah Hill made $60,000. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Damn, good for him for, like, really committing.
He was like, I want to be in this so bad, you don't have to pay me. And then he was like, well, just kidding. Can you pay me the lowest that you have to pay me? And they were like, okay. Which I'm like, couldn't they have afterwards been like, you get a tip? Right? Like, you get a little tip or something. But
good for him. I love Jonah Hill. I absolutely adore Jonah Hill. And yeah, like you said, he is such a scene stealer this entire movie. It's outstanding. Him and Margot Robbie, of course.
Oh, right.
She was 21 when she did this movie. That's the thing that always baffles me when I watch this. Is that woman was 21 years old. That is a full-grown adult that I am looking at. I am 22 years old. That looks like a 35-year-old lady.
That makes me want to kill myself. That makes me want to jump off of a bridge. I mean, she's Margot Robbie and she's Hollywood hot, but just, like, to have that sort of presence, right? Like, she should be, like, there are literally 30-year-olds being cast as high schoolers in shows. And she's 21 and she's out here, like, demanding the presence of being this, like, highfalutin heiress character. Like, she's fucking stunning. And I know that they were like, you don't have to do this nude scene because, like, if you're uncomfortable, whatever. And she's like, no, I have to do the nude scene. She's like, because that's my character's currency is her body. And this movie is about wealth. And she's like, so if I don't do this nude scene, I'm not committing to it. And for a long time, she, like, said that it was someone else's body with her head CG'd onto it because she, like, didn't want to admit to, like, her friends and family that she, like, literally did a full nude scene. But, like, that, I don't know. Good for her for, like, fucking owning it and being like, yeah, no, this is, like, good for my character development. I'm gonna fucking do it. And it clearly hasn't damaged her career. This is her, like, breakout role.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like, doing awesome. So I fucking love Margot Robbie. And she's always so smart. I love hearing what she says about movies that she's in, like, retroactively in interviews and stuff. She always has the most, like, poignant, just, like, yes, you're so smart. Like, you're beautiful and you're smart. Mm-hmm. There was a really great, on Trixie and Katya's podcast, which I'm sure all of you listen to, they were like, Margot Robbie chose a profession where she has to spend all day pretending to not be Margot Robbie. Why the fuck would she do that? If I was Margot Robbie, I would just be myself all day and I'd look hot and I'd sit by a pool and, like, that would be good enough. But she chose a profession where she has to pretend to not be herself, who is literally perfect. Mm-hmm. Like, that makes no sense. But, like, fucking good on her.
Mm-hmm. No, I love her fucking New York accent. Whenever it comes out, I love it in fucking when she's doing Harley Quinn. I love it in this. Just great. 10 out of 10. Across the board.
Yeah, everyone's always talking about Tom Holland's dialect coach for his fucking Peter Parker. No. It's fucking Margot Robbie's dialect coach giving her that thick New York accent. That's what we need to be talking about.
So good. So good. Like, could you imagine, like, this is your breakout role and you're acting alongside fucking Leonardo DiCaprio? He's pretending to snort coke off your tits. Life must have been so surreal. Must have been so surreal.
Right. Well, she had the fucking guts to do it and do it good. So of course that's her, like, big standout breakout role, and of course she's a megastar now because, like, she fucking did that shit. Mm-hmm. But I also wanted to bring up one of my favorite facts because we're, preaching to the choir of Jonah Hill stans.
Yes, of course.
So that scene where he swallows the goldfish. Do you know that scene where they're like, oh, why are you cleaning your fish tank? And then he swallows the goldfish. He wanted so bad to actually do it. He's like, you get a fish and I'm going to fucking do it for real. And they were like, Jonah, no. And he's like, no, like, just fucking test me. Like, I'll do it. And they were like, no, like, actually, like, there will be lawsuits. Like, there will be animal abuse lawsuits if you swallow goldfish. And he's like, okay, but, like, I'm going to save you guys CG budget and I'm going to put a real goldfish in my mouth and hold it there. And then we can spit it into a cup of water and then we can go again. And they were like, okay, I guess that'll, like, PETA's not gonna come after us for that. So he straight up puts a live goldfish in his mouth for real in that scene. Isn't that fucking, and he got paid $60,000 for it.
I love this man so much. I feel like anything I ever hear about Jonah Hill is just always amazing. Like, elevating him for me. He's probably one of my favorite people in Hollywood ever, honestly.
And I love Beanie too, like that, like the sibling. Right. Like I'm not even bothered by the nepotism because I'm like, this is the flavor of nepotism I can get behind.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah. But also he on set was so they used like crushed up vitamin D pills as coke.
Yeah.
And he was like so enthusiastically snorting it all of the time that he ended up with bronchitis because he had snorted so much like powder. Like it wasn't harmful to snort the powder, but like obviously if you're snorting too much of anything, your like shit will get fucked up. And he like was hospitalized with bronchitis because he inhaled way too much like vitamin D powder.
Oh my god.
Because he was just everyone was like, yeah, we're just kind of faking it, and he was like, no, I'm ripping that shit. Like I'm for real.
He's gorgeous. He's beautiful. I love him. So committed.
Yeah, IMDb fun facts about Jonah Hill are like the reason to watch this movie.
No,
like
really.
Whether, however you feel about it, it's 3 hours long, whatever, to like learn how hard Jonah Hill went fully makes it
so worth it.
Oh, we didn't even do a recap. This movie is literally just about a really rich man and how he fucks his life up. Let's see, I'm gonna try to do this really fast. Jordan Belfort, he was a real guy, and he wrote a biography, and then they made a movie about it, and he started off being not rich, but then he got really rich, and he got rich by being shitty and kind of scamming people, and also embezzling money, and then he leaves his wife for Margot Robbie, which, okay, that happens. And then he's like, oh, we have to put all our money in Swiss banks. And then the grandma, or the aunt, or whatever, she dies. And then he's like, oh my god, no, we gotta go get the money from the Swiss banks. And the FBI is like, we're on to you. And then everything kind of comes crashing and burning. And also he's doing so much drugs the whole time, and like fucking strippers. And they say the word fuck more times than have ever been said in any film ever. And it's just wild, and it's a fun time, and it's 3 hours long, and then eventually at the end, like, shit kind of crashes and burns around him. Margot Robbie divorces him, takes the kids, and he is left to do seminars about how to sell a pen.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
That was good. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I did like what you said about how many times this movie says fuck. One thing I feel like this movie did was paint probably a very unrealistic portrayal of what Wall Street is. I know, like, in the beginning it's like, oh, you think you know what Wall Street is? No, this is what Wall Street is. It's a fucking madhouse. It's a whole-ass rodeo, da-da-da-da-da, like, ripping through it and whatever. I'm sitting there, I'm like, no. This doesn't seem like Wall Street to me. You know what this job is? This is being a line cook. The energy in this room is what you deal with in the back of a fucking kitchen for 12 plus hours a day.
Oh my god. Give me the remake of this film, but it's just about like a high schooler who's like at a buffet, just like pouring bags of clam chowder into warmers, and like people are just ripping coke off of each other.
Really?
That is a true representation of having a shitty kitchen job in high school. Is like people are bumping coke and ripping cigs inside, dude, and you are just trying to warm the clam chowder.
Exactly. You know how much sex and drugs goes on in a fucking kitchen? A lot. Probably more than Wall Street. So
I want the companion film, like The Wolf of Applebee's. Like,
who's gonna pay me to write that? I read Anthony Bourdain's fucking novel. I know.
But like, I don't even want like a high-end restaurant. Like, I know that shit happens there too, but I want like low end. Like, you're just reheating food and people are just acting insane. Yeah.
No, you want fucking, what is it, the local seafood place that I worked at in high school.
Yep. With the crab hat, you're like in a lobster mascot costume.
I wish they let me
to pass out.
I wish they let me keep it. That was my favorite thing. Whenever there was like something like really shitty to do, was like clean the grease off the floor because it was so slow. I would just be like, I'd like ask management, I'm like, can I just go out in the lobster costume? And I would dance in the street.
I think this is really uniquely that the fact that the two of us both have mascot experience is so rare. Like, statistically, how many people have that, and then how many people who host podcasts together also both have been mascots. Like, I think with this, we might take the cake. Like, we might be the only one.
We'll have to post this week. So our mascot photos.
Right. But speaking of people who host podcasts, not that they need any, like, promotion here, but I thought it was fucking wild. I didn't realize it in like my past viewings of this film, but this time I clocked. So you know his sort of starting crew that they all like go out to that dinner together, and they're like his like starting guys, like the guy with the toupee and the Punisher and all those guys. So you know, I think they call him Sea Otter. He's the ginger guy. That's Henry Zabrowski, who is one of the hosts on the last podcast on the left, which is one of my favorite podcasts that talks about like true crime and cults and like cool shit. I don't know. He's a podcast guy. Like, and he also is like a comedy writer on like Adult Swim and all that shit. But I was just like, is that Henry Zabrowski from last podcast on the left? And then I looked it up and I was like, what the fuck? So if Martin Scorsese wants to put some people from the swamp in one of his films, I will gladly be a background extra.
Please. Yeah, no, I know, you know Chris Clemens? He's a YouTuber. Yeah, he's in this movie. He was an extra in this movie. And there are so many fucking jump scares in this movie, too.
Okay, who is it for you? Because I know
Fran Lebowitz.
Oh my god!
No, but also Jon Favreau. So I don't know.
Jon Favreau! It's Jon Favreau for me. I'm like, what? Ooh. And also a little bit Kyle Chandler. It's like a soft jump scare. I was just like, Kyle Chandler? He's the FBI agent. He's just like a generic looking man who's in everything, and you're like, why do I know you from everything? Because he is in everything. But yeah, totally, literally my notes say Jon Favreau jump scare.
Yeah, no, Fran Lebowitz was in this for literally like 0.3 seconds, but I was like, why is she the judge? And then, like, clocking the actual Jordan Belfort, like, at the very end.
But, yeah, I don't know. His participation in this movie kind of discredits it for me. And, like, I know that, like, saying this makes me sound like an asshole or, like, pretentious or whatever. But, like, I think I enjoy this movie, but I don't like this movie.
Yeah, right? No, I can get that.
Like, I have a fun time watching it. I think the writing is brilliant. I laugh. I think the acting is great. I enjoy it. But, like, objectively, do I like this movie? Like, well, maybe yes, but, like, no.
This movie's offensive. Like, this movie's, like, genuinely pretty offensive. And, like, I get, like...
But also there are just parts of it that, like, really rub me the wrong way. Like, the fucking freeze frame opening. I can't stand that. Even if you're trying to do it ironically or something, I fucking hate that. Like, zoom in. I bet you're wondering how I ended up here.
Yeah. Shit was
and then
tacky.
We're gonna zoom back 6 months. Oh, I fucking hate that. Like, just do something more creative. And even if you're trying to, like, be ironic or, like, do a reference thing, like, I thought it was stupid. I didn't like it. I think this movie's way too long. Also, and it's just, like, there's only so much debauchery before it just gets old. I'm like, okay, he's humping the airline stewardess. Okay, now he's crashing his car on drugs. Okay, now he's, like, doing cocaine off of a stripper's tits. Like, okay, we get it. It could have been, like... It's just, like, I'm being beat over the head.
It's one of those things. Like, the debauchery could have felt more creative. You know what I mean? Like you said, it gets old. Yeah, no. One thing that I kind of honestly had a gripe with about this movie is... And it's tough because he did such a good job, but it's just the fact that it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, sometimes he just takes me out of his roles because it's just fucking, like, Leonardo DiCaprio, if that makes any sense. Like, he was so good and everything like that, too, but it was just, like, I'm like, it's that man again, you know?
I have no, like, grounds to say this. Like, this is not based in any sort of fact, really.
Please.
But as I was, like, very much thinking about our past male manipulator movies that we've covered, I, like, wondered how much of this was grounded in him getting taken off of American Psycho, because let's say American Psycho gets released in 2000, so around that time, he purchases the rights, so he was part of the team that purchased the rights to Jordan Belfort's biography. So it like got handed off to a couple different directors because Martin Scorsese was like, I'm busy. But Leo was always going to be Jordan Belfort. Like, it was his project. So he gets taken off of a project about a critique on capitalism of a Wall Street guy, like a kind of edgy black humor movie. And then he immediately turns around and buys the rights to this guy's autobiography and decides to make a thing of it. I don't know. I'm just saying that seems like kind of a 1-to-1. I literally have no, like, I don't think this is, like, proven or anything, but I just, like, a thing that I noticed, and I was just like, interesting, because it's like the Patrick Bateman character I think this is how Leo would have tried to play it. He would have tried to be, like, suave and likable, which is why he couldn't have done it. And this gives him the opportunity to be like, oh, I'm going to be the corrupt rich guy, but I still get to be the Leo character that I always play, which is somewhat endearing, likable, handsome.
That is such an interesting and good point that you make. I like this conspiracy theory that you've got going right now. I think there's definitely something there.
Well, like I said at the beginning, it's like if you take the sort of, like, male masturbatory nature of Fight Club and you pair it with, like, the social critique that American Psycho is making, then you literally get Wolf of Wall Street. It's like 1 + 1 = this. To me, at least. Just watching all these movies in a group has, like, really got my gears turning.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying.
But also I'm like, okay, like, you can make a critique about, like, how rich people are bad, but, like, I bet that Leonardo DiCaprio's personal net worth is more than Jordan Belfort's ever was.
Yeah, most definitely.
Right? Like,
I wonder how much of this actually happened, is my question. Like, I did wonder, like, throughout the movie, I was like, okay, where did they really take liberties?
Honestly, I read somewhere that they had to cut shit from the book because they were like, we can't put that in a movie. Like, people fucking animals. And, like it was worse than what the movie... And, like, people who... They changed their names from real life, obviously, or, like, from the autobiography to the movie. And they were, like, mad. They were, like, still mad that the comparison was, like, too similar. Because they're like, I don't want to be associated with that shit. Because it happened. Like, right, because... God. I don't know. So, again, this is all just, like, surface-level IMDb facts. But I think it really was... I think they probably embellished, like, visually for the sake of film. But I believe that people with that amount of wealth on Wall Street are, like... I believe that they're paying to fuck kids. Like, Jeffrey Epstein shit.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think they're doing way worse stuff than, like, drugs and hookers. So I think that this movie is just showing the fun side of it, whereas I believe it was probably so much worse.
No, you're...
And, like, more wild in a bad way.
No, I can understand that for sure. No, that actually makes a lot of sense.
So, back at it again with another Chocolate or Vanilla, a segment hosted by my lovely mother, Jen. Chocolate or Vanilla, Jen's here, she hosts a game, she just says two things, we all say which one we like better. It's a grand old time. Is there a theme this week?
Yes, there is a theme. And the theme is things related to New York.
Okay, because Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. The M&M store or Sephora?
Because M&M's and Sephora do not exist outside of Times Square in New York.
That is correct.
All Sephoras are, like, kind of the same, but the M&M store, I feel like that's, like, such a tourist destination with, like, the big wall, and you, like, make a bag of M&M's and it costs $47 for no reason. But I'll guess I'll say the M&M store.
Yeah, no, the M&M store is unique to itself. I'm gonna say the M&M store just for the slutty green M&M, strictly.
Give her go-go boots back.
Yes, I agree on all of those things. So I will say M&M store and, yes, go-go boots for the sweet. Phantom of the Opera or Les Mis?
I'm gonna say Les Mis. I'm honestly not that familiar with Phantom of the Opera as a medium. I've never seen it as a musical or a play, and I've never seen the movie, so I don't really know too much about it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to it eventually. But I am a little slut for Hugh Jackman. I'll go with Les Mis.
Yeah, I like Phantom of the Opera, but it's no Les Mis. So there you have it. I'll say Les Mis.
Agreed.
I was gonna do my Russell Crowe impression again, but I feel like Les Mis has just organically come up a few weeks in a row now, and I do it every time. Yeah, you guys have had enough of me, I'm sure.
You kind of have to, I think.
No, I'm gonna let it rest.
Give it another month, and then it can come back up.
A slice of thin crust pizza or frozen hot chocolate?
Is frozen hot chocolate a thing that you can only get in New York?
Yeah, there's this place called Serendipity, and they sell, like, $150 drink of frozen hot chocolate or something, right?
Oh, from the Food Channel. Yes. I guess I'll go with the hot chocolate because I recently had deep dish pizza for, like, the first time really the other day, and I kind of liked it. I know people are always like, New York or Chicago style. I'm like, why can't we like both? So I feel like people are, like, elitist about it. So I'll go with the hot chocolate, because I don't think anyone's arguing about that.
Very true. I am a whore for thin crust pizza, though. I don't know if you've ever heard anything about New Haven pizza, but New Haven, Connecticut is supposed to have some of the best pizza, and I have had some of the best pizza of my life in New Haven. And it was the thinnest crust pizza I've ever had. It was so good. So I'll go.
No offense, Emily, but stop trying to give Connecticut culture. That just...
Dude, it's fucked.
You're really grasping at straws.
Dude, it's really fucked. Connecticut decided to, like, make their, like, state food, like, pizza or something like that, and New York is mad about it. There was no grounds for it. I don't know why, but I just like a good thin crust pizza.
I have heard that there's a place in New Haven, like Bill's or something like that, or...
There's like three. There's three big ones. It's Sally's, and then there's Frank Pepe's, and then
that's the one I'm thinking
more.
of.
Yeah, Frank Pepe's, which is like a chain throughout Connecticut now, but like the original one is like the spot. And then there's another one. I can't remember the name of it right now, but yeah, no, it's big pizza place. So can I choose New Haven pizza instead of New York pizza? I'm just kidding.
Yes,
That's fucked. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a slice of pizza also. The Big Apple or Gotham?
Okay, so again, it's just nicknames, but you know that Gotham isn't like a nickname for New York City, that like Gotham's its own city.
No, it definitely is a nickname for New York City.
No, but like in the Batman universe?
I think just in general, it's a nickname for New York City. I know that it's in the Batman universe. Stupid.
Yeah, but like, Batman doesn't live in New York. Batman lives in Gotham.
I know, people call New York City Gotham.
Who?
Like...
Since when?
It's a thing.
Well, I'll say the Big Apple because I live in Syracuse, which is like in the shittiest part of upstate New York, and I love to just walk around downtown and yell, "I love the Big Apple," and things like that. NYC, so people think that I'm an idiot.
No, I feel you. I'll, like, be driving, like, back into Hartford or anything like that, and I'll be like, back in the city. The big city. But, yeah, I will also go with the Big Apple, although I do like wherever this Gotham fact is coming from.
It's coming
If somebody
from
said,
my
I took
head.
a trip to Gotham last week, what the fuck would you think they meant by that?
I would know they meant New York City.
I would think they had a really
clues,
fun
Tara.
movie marathon. Yeah.
I'm just for this. I'm picking Gotham.
Okay.
All right, next. Oh, I forgot to say chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry.
I'm drinking a strawberry lemonade right now, actually, so I'll go rogue and I'll pick strawberry.
That's hot. I'm still gonna stick with vanilla today.
And I will stick with chocolate. So Cats, Wicked, or Rent?
I guess Wicked. I'll say Wicked. I've seen Wicked and I've seen Rent. I've never seen Cats. I don't really have any desire to see Cats, but I guess that's where I fall on that. I just feel like those are all kind of really different, but I guess we're just doing like a strict Broadway thing. But I will say the best Broadway show I've ever seen, Avenue Q. I love puppets. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm also gonna have to go with Wicked on this one. I have never seen. I feel like I tried to watch Rent once and I did not get it. Didn't do anything for me. And yeah, same as Derek. Cats does not seem at all appealing, so.
And Wicked is gonna be a movie with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, and I think it's either gonna be like a hot mess that's at least entertaining to watch, or it's gonna be really good, so we'll see.
We will be watching it.
Is Cynthia Erivo a really good singer?
Yeah. Oh
yes.
my god.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
Harriet?
She sings.
Well, I mean, she only sings a little bit. She only sings a little bit in Harriet, but she started off as a singer. She was in The Color Purple, the like live stage production.
Oh, I can't wait to see that then.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
I'll take Wicked also. Hard Rock Cafe or Central Park?
Central Park. There's something like kind of like morally wrong about the Hard Rock Cafe. That it just doesn't sit right with me, and it's like, why are you as a tourist going to like the Applebee's in Times Square? You know, like that's the vibe I get from the Hard Rock Cafe. Why are you as a tourist attending the Hard Rock Cafe for any reason?
It's astounding to me the amount of artists that they've had like donate, or maybe not donate, I doubt they donate, but like the amount of like memorabilia every single Hard Rock Cafe has, it's insane.
It's probably fake. It's gotta be fake.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, there is something a little fucked up about the Hard Rock Cafe. So I'll go for Times Square, or not Times Square, Jesus. Central Park. Yeah, thank you. Not Times Square, Jesus.
I will take Central Park also. Next one is the Met or the Guggenheim.
I am gonna say the Met. I did really enjoy the one time we went to the Guggenheim. I think my favorite New York City museum is the MoMA, personally, but I would say just like variety wise and just going to the Met for the first time is like a life-changing experience. Whereas I remember like going to the Guggenheim and just being like a little confused. But also I was like 10, so I don't really know what that means.
Why is the Guggenheim confusing? I've never been to either.
Because it's all like, the Guggenheim is all like very high modern art. So I remember it was like a rock with a shard of broken glass, and everyone was like standing around, and like I was like, I don't think I get it, but I mean, there's like obviously a lot of other. The architecture is crazy. It's like an inverted like cone thing.
Yeah,
it's a very beautiful building. But yeah, it's all like very very modern art. Whereas the Met just has fucking everything.
See, I do really like modern art. So I, for that reason, will go for the Guggenheim, I suppose.
I will definitely take the Met. Like you said, kind of life-changing the first time you go. One time, we went to go see the Alexander McQueen exhibit, and the line was the longest line I've ever seen in my life. It went
for anything ever around several city blocks.
Both ways.
And then we asked somebody, and they're like, "Oh, we're just told that we're at the 10-hour point." And I was like 12 or 13, and this was my birthday gift. And Jen was like gonna take me because I was like a stan, and he had just passed away. And I was like fucking 4'11", like feet tall, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to see anything. I'm like, we're gonna get into this exhibit, and I'm not gonna be able to see anything. So we just I think we went to the Guggenheim.
That's the time we saw the Guggenheim, yeah.
Yeah, but I did get to see at the Met the notes on camp, what they based the Met Gala off of. I got to see that fashion exhibit the last time I went, and it was so fucking cool.
That's
so
sick.
I kind of got my like fashion exhibit redemption experience. Not that anyone fucking cares.
I'll have to go soon. It's been on my list of things to go to and see like forever, but I don't know. I always get...
You can spend a whole day in just one like section. And like you cannot do the whole museum in a day. Like it's wild. You have to like really pick and choose what you want to see because it's just so fucking massive.
Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night Fever?
Saturday Night Fever, baby.
Yeah, Saturday Night...
John Travolta.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live is not shit. So, Saturday Night Fever, for sure.
Same, Saturday Night Fever. Chorus Line or Jersey Boys?
Chorus Line or Jersey Boys? Is this like a gendered thing, or is this like...
No, it's just a Broadway thing.
Like the two... I'm not really familiar with either of these, but isn't Jersey Boys about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, right? I'll pick that one then. I fuck with that.
Yeah, I love the Four Seasons, so I'll go for Jersey Boys.
Same, I love that.
What is Chorus Line about? A chorus line?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ripley's Believe It or Not or Madame Tussauds Wax Museum?
The Wax Museum is fucking scary, and everything just is a little off. Like, Beyonce, it's like, that looks exactly like her, and yet nothing like her, and that's how every single one of them look. It's fucking scary. I do not like that. And it's, hard no from me. Ripley's Believe It or Not. I've never been there, but the books go out from the kids section at the library a lot, and I think that's a lot of fun, so let's get kids reading.
This is literature. I have been to a Ripley's museum before, and they were pretty dope for like a 12-year-old, so I'll say Ripley's.
All right, same. I've never been to Ripley's, but now I want to go. Grand Central Station or Statue of Liberty?
I'm gonna say Grand Central because I like the ceiling with the like astrology like mural. That's another thing I remember like as a very young person going to New York for the first time, being like, wow, this is the big city. Life-changing memories or whatever. Whereas I've never been to the Statue of Liberty. I've never like been near it or inside it, but just like, okay, there she is.
You really don't have to. It's nothing crazy.
But it is a clue in National Treasure too, so it is significant to me in that way, that it is connected to the greatest film series of all time, but other than that, no.
Of course. I'm also gonna go with Grand Central Station. I feel like that's one of those things that like I feel like got romanticized a lot in just general pop culture, and I'm like, okay, like this one's got me by the balls. I'll give it to it.
Same. I love Grand Central. The ball at Times Square or the tree at Rockefeller Center?
I feel like every year there's always an article about like why the tree is fucked up this year. Like, oh no, they didn't get a good one this year. Like the back of the tree is sparse or something like that. Like I feel like there's always like this is the worst tree in years, but it's like every single year. But I also remember as a kid being so unimpressed by the ball dropping. Like, I thought it was going to be like a globe-sized thing that descended from the heavens. And it's just like a disco ball on a stick. It was nothing like that special. And I just remember being like, what the fuck? Like, you told me a ball was going to drop from the sky to commemorate the new year, and that's it? So I guess I'll go, what was my first option? I'll go with the tree.
And what's wrong with a disco ball, though?
It was just like...
I get it.
It's just not... It's just boring.
It could have, like, shattered or something like that. It could have done... She could have done more.
Opened up to reveal, like, Lady Gaga inside, something,
that'd be something,
you know?
Mm-hmm. I am definitely a Christmas gal, so I'll go for the tree in Rockefeller Center.
Same, I'm gonna pick the tree. Have you ever seen the Rockettes Christmas show?
No, unfortunately I have not.
I want to go see that. That was my New York City chocolate or vanilla.
Outstanding.
It was like entirely tourist point of view, which I love that. Because that's all we always just do the touristy shit. But I like telling people that I live in New York, and they're always like, that's so fun and exciting. And then I don't correct them. Like, I don't tell them that it's like Syracuse, the shitty upstate part. So yeah, I live in New York.
Love it.
But as always, Jen, thank you so much for these lovely chocolate or vanilla choices. A nice little break in our discussion about Wolf of Wall Street to talk about M&M's and
Sephora.
Hard Rock Cafe. Yeah, Sephora. Good shit. So, as always, I'm going to try to post this on Instagram, but I've been kind of slacking lately because I'm in grad school, so we'll see how that goes. But keep your eyes out on our Instagram and just for other shit in general. But, Jen, thank you so much, and goodbye.
Thank you, guys. Love you. Have a great week.
You know one character that I did like in this movie a lot? Actually, I'll tell you two. Was Jordan's first wife, for obvious reasons.
Yes.
But I also loved his dad, Mad Max.
Yes! Yes, those are like the two sort of redeeming characters that we get who are like a somewhat voice of reason. Like a little bit. Because like obviously the FBI agent, but like he's just preaching from the law, so like who cares? But these are the only two characters who are ever like, hey, isn't this shit kind of fucked? And then everyone's like, no, you're lame!
No, I did love his father coming in here. What was it? There's one line they were literally just talking about like women shaving and everything like that, and it's just
he's like, I don't mind giving a bush.
The line delivery on that, I was just like, I like this guy. This guy, yeah, all right, he's all right.
So while I was doing my bit of surface level digging, I did find out that the guy who was primarily, wrote the screenplay for this wrote a lot of The Sopranos, which really makes so much sense to me now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's why I can tolerate this movie. That's why, like, everything about this movie is, like, annoying to me, other than the fact that it's written so well and I'm engaged and I think it's funny. And I'm like, oh, it's because it's the guy who, like, literally wrote one of the best TV shows of all time. Like, it just makes sense. And that same kind of, like fucked up people who you don't want to like, but you still kind of like them. Like, it's a very, like, that's a pocket. Yeah. But yeah, I loved the dad and I loved the first wife. I don't know that actress's name, but she's the mother from How I Met Your Mother. But more importantly, she's in one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror. If any of you haven't seen USS Callister, it's one of my faves. They do like a Star Trek, like, parody spin-off dystopian thing, and she's so good in it. I was gonna say it definitely makes sense, the Sopranos thing. I am relieved that this is not the typical like mobster shit that Scorsese does. I was like, okay, because I'm tired of it. Like, I
can't do it anymore. It's so much. I'm at my wit's end with him. I like that he always like goes and he'll do like 5 mob movies and then he'll do like Hugo.
Yeah. Right.
Just to keep it fresh and fun. He's like, oh, what am I gonna do now? Oh my god, what are we gonna do? Well, Asa Butterfield, I got him on the line.
Do you know what his dog looks like?
Is it like one of those 101 Dalmatians things where his dog looks just like him kind of thing, or?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Yes. He has a little white fluffy dog that looks just like him. It's so funny. Like him with his big eyebrows, and he's holding this like big fluffy, or it's like a little fluffy white dog, and they just like look the same.
Oh my god.
Isn't that too funny? Well, I'll post a picture of this on our Instagram with the release of this episode.
Holy
for
shit.
anyone who doesn't know what Martin Scorsese's dog looks like, it's really fucking cute.
Oh, I love it.
I think that's the only reason I follow him on Instagram. Is like, I'm like, I want to see pics of your dog.
Martin, show me dog pics. You want to know something that was the opposite of cute is the fucking ring in this movie that Leonardo DiCaprio gives Margot Robbie. That is the ugliest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. And I think that's the commentary that I want, is that people can have money and they're still gonna buy ugly shit.
Yep. Yeah. Just because you have money does not mean you have taste. I think it also goes to show that I think a lot of like the most expensive wedding rings are so tacky.
Disgusting.
Like the fact, like, the bigger the diamond does not mean the nicer the ring, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm also anti-diamond as a person. I think that shit is been inflated by marketing to get people to spend more money on stones that are not actually worth what they're being charged for. I don't know, it's a whole thing. Also, like, blood diamonds and slavery, like, let's not get into that. But, I don't own any, but that's because I'm poor. But
I will say that while men should not take much away from this movie, I think women should take away some pointers from Margot Robbie's character. I think it's okay to be a bimbo if you're gonna marry someone that wealthy. Yeah, go for it. 110%.
Yeah.
If you can be hot and just do
hang
that,
out.
Fine.
If you're Margot Robbie level hot and you want to just hang out, you run that shit.
As you should.
Run that shit.
You know, the takeaway. Listen. You can take away so much. Your wealthy life. Do whatever you want. Whatever. Downside is your partner is going to last exactly 11 seconds. That was one of the most realistic parts of this movie.
Right. Me too, Leo. Like,
I was going to say, I can't blame him. I'd be in the same boat.
Yeah, right. But also, like, on the, like, sexual nature of this movie,
there's so many boobs.
I get a deep belly laugh every time during the Matthew McConaughey scene where he goes, like, you jerk off. And then he's like, how many times a day you jerking off? And just, I don't know why that shit tickles me, but just
you gotta feed the snake.
Oh, yeah, just the way he, like, accosts him about it, as I'm just like, this is just too, I think it's the funniest part of the whole fucking movie, is that whole, like, lunch scene with the two of them. But it also annoys me, because I'm like, okay, that's about, 15, 20 minutes into the movie? Matthew McConaughey just says the whole plot of the film. He's like, oh, you're gonna get really rich, and then shit's gonna blow up in your face. You never know how the stock market's gonna go. Money's really volatile. Let's just say what's gonna happen. And I'm like, okay, so now, like, obviously that's just, like, what the movie is. Yeah. Okay, so, like, we could just end it here.
That's enough. Okay. I've seen it all.
Yeah, I've seen Matthew McConaughey's out of the picture, so, like, I'm done.
No, really. Do you have a favorite scene, or I guess section of this movie? I feel it's like I can't even say scene, but... It
is very much in sections. I will say, when I was watching it, the scene where he takes the lemons and drives in his car, and that back, I was like, we are entering the third act. Like, I had seen this movie before, but, like, it had been a bit. I'm like, okay, we're entering the third act. I pause it, we're a third into the movie. Like, there was still almost 2 full fucking hours left, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, how much more does there need to be? A favorite, like, I definitely, that first lunch scene with Matthew McConaughey, I really love. I hate the opening, and I hate the ending. Like, I think this movie is sandwiched by 2, like, cliche, stupid, poorly, and I can't say poorly written, but just, like, I just don't like them, right? And the whole middle is, like, packed with fun. I will say the one specific scene that stands out to me so much is when Jonah Hill meets him in that diner. Or he's like, I have a present for you.
And they go smoke crack in the back.
And he's like, dude, we're gonna smoke crack. And that's what I'm like, oh, this movie is so fun that I can't even be mad at it. Like, it's like, I'm starting to get annoyed, and then Jonah Hill's like, let's smoke crack. And I'm like, I'm back on board. Like, I'm fully back on board.
No, I totally agree with you on that. I think one of the most entertaining...
What about you?
I think one of the most entertaining scenes for me is when they're in the middle of the ocean on the boat and they're all about to, like, die because they're in the middle of this huge fucking storm and everything like that, and they, like, weren't supposed to travel. And it's just a fucking delivery, and it's so bad, but it's, like, him trying to, like, usher to Jonah Hill, who's obviously stealing the show, just saying, I don't want to die! But him being like, get me my drugs.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to die sober.
I just thought that scene was really funny. But honestly, one that weirdly stood out to me this watch was when he, like, went to visit, what's her name, like, Aunt Emma or something like that in London. And he's, like, trying to, like, get her to fucking embezzle. Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, he's trying to, like, get her to, like, agree to, like, embezzle money and all that stuff and put it in a Swiss bank and all that shit. But I just love, there's, like, obviously, like, a whole, like, big narration thing going on throughout the entire movie. But it's just, like, this maybe, like 4-minute scene of them on, like, a park bench or whatever. And you just hear in both of their brains, you're like, oh my god, is the other person trying to fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know why that one stood out to me so much, but I really liked that. I really liked her character.
Is she trying to fuck?
Yeah.
Like that's also just like when recapping the plot of this movie, there's just too fucking
There's so
much. And Emma, and then she dies, and then they're smuggling the money using his Slovenian wife, and they're taping the money to her body, and just like, well, there's just, oh my god, there's just so much.
Yeah, no, if you gave me like 5 more minutes to think about it, I'm sure I could come up with 6 other scenes that were my favorites.
Right.
But yeah, no, Steve Madden is in this movie. Like
that's
a whole other
not
plot.
Actually him though, right? But yeah, right. And there's company going public or whatever.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Shoes.
I couldn't remember that. John Bernthal.
He's so hot.
I know. Yeah, he is so hot.
He's the other standout to me in this movie. Yep. It goes like Jonah Hill, Margot Robbie, and then
John Bernthal.
Yeah. Like just hot.
I don't get,
just hot.
It's like that gross hot. You know what I mean? Love it. Absolutely love it.
I would let him catcall me outside an Applebee's, and I would like it. He's in a Ford F-150. With like a bad political bumper sticker, and I still kind of like it. Like that's the kind of man who can pull that off for me.
No one's ever been so vulnerable and honest on this podcast.
Right.
You're so right.
This is not related at all, but I feel like I wanted to squeeze it in before we get into our regularly scheduled programming, and that is the actual fraud that went into the making of this film. So this movie had a $100 million budget, which obviously it did. It's star-studded. There's a trillion different sets. They're on yachts. It's just like, it checks out. But the production company, Red Granite, was embezzling funds from Malaysia to fund this movie, and then after this they got investigated by the FBI. This movie was literally made with embezzled funds. Isn't that fucking crazy? Doesn't that like just come full circle and just like really tie the whole package together with a neat little bow? I encourage anyone to go check out. So they're called Red Granite, but it was the 1MDB embezzlement scandal out of Malaysia that the whole thing got shut down, but that's how they funded this movie, literally with illegal foreign
That
funds.
is so fucking funny. Wow. Of course it did. Of course. But do we want to get into our regularly scheduled programming?
Yeah, so I was just talking about how much I want to fuck. I don't even know his character's name in this, but
John Bernthal.
Yeah, I want to fuck him, but I would say that our three for screen time are obviously Leo, Margot, and Jonah.
Yes, okay, glad.
Which is who? Jordan,
Donnie,
and the Duchess.
Naomi. Or the Duchess.
Yeah, I'm just using formal titles here.
Of course.
This is kind of tough.
I think I got mine figured out.
Because it's like, obviously I want to fuck Margot Robbie, like duh, like that's just so obvious. But now it's just like, between these two horrid men, which one would I tie myself to?
Here.
And so honestly, I think I'm gonna inside out it. I'm gonna marry Margot Robbie because I would treat her right. Yeah. I'm gonna fuck Jonah Hill because that's just gonna be a good time, and then I'm gonna kill Jordan Belfort because I don't want anything to do with that. Yeah.
That's entirely what I said as well. I'm gonna fuck Donnie because hopefully he lasts longer than Jordan.
But it's just gonna be fun. I think it's just gonna be more fun.
It's gonna be fun. Also, I'm gonna definitely steal whatever shirt he leaves laying around.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, kill Jordan, and then obviously you marry Naomi. I don't think I could ever make as much money as she needs to be truly happy, but I think I can lead a semi-successful life with her.
I think I could last 12 seconds, so... There's
exactly.
that.
Yep, entirely. And then out of the whole movie...
This is tough, because, like, everyone in this movie is so hot.
I've got mine.
And so horrible. You go first.
I'm gonna fuck Naomi, of course, because like you said, I'll last 12 seconds. I'm gonna kill Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Just because I can, and because I hate how his last name is spelled. And I don't know, it's just, he's just a Wall Street guy. But, my firm stance throughout this entire movie has been that I will marry Teresa, Jordan's first wife.
Yes! She cuts hair!
She cuts hair, she seems lovely. We don't need much. We'll be happy.
That's probably the best take that you could possibly have.
Thank you. Who are you fucking?
John
Bernthal?
Gonna fuck his name's Brad in the movie. I'm gonna fuck Brad.
That's duh. I know that's right.
Duh.
Yeah.
I would also probably marry Teresa, but another character who really stands out to me as wife material is, like, his assistant in the office who's constantly marching around telling people to fuck off and make appointments. I love her, so she back up, if you're gonna take Teresa, I'll take the hot assistant who just, like, doesn't give a shit, Wall Street lady. She's gonna take me out to nice dinners.
Yeah.
What's the name of the restaurant from fucking American Psycho? Dorsia. She's gonna take me to Dorsia, and it's gonna be really nice.
Oh yeah, she's paying.
And then I'm gonna kill Jordan Belfort. Yeah, he's just. But I'll kill the real Jordan Belfort who makes a cameo at the very end.
Yeah,
He's in the audience. I slit the throat and get out. I'll kill the IRL.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you have any food pairings, drink pairings? What do you think? Because I've got two options.
Okay, mine are kind of lame. I think you either you get Fun Dip because that's powder, I don't know, or you make a dessert with a lot of powdered sugar on it because cocaine, super lame. But I feel like lemons, so you do a lemon drop martini, that was my one, or a vodka lemonade. You do some sort of lemon based drink because they do don't do Quaaludes, don't do cocaine, don't do Quaaludes.
I was gonna tell you to do coke.
Yeah, rip a line of coke. This movie, I am not, I drink, but I'm not a drug user. One hit of weed literally makes me see ghosts. So, I don't really fuck with substances like that, personally. But this movie literally makes me want to do uppers. I'm I could go to the club, and I could do a fucking Quaalude. No.
I don't think a Quaalude is an upper at all.
Oh, or cocaine, whatever.
Yeah.
I have the resting heart rate of a hummingbird. Literally, something like that would make my heart explode on impact. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, don't do coke.
Don't do coke.
But see, I'm gonna stick with listen, I was thinking about Teresa a lot this movie. And I was sitting there, and so my first option, I was like, okay, what would she cook for me? Lovely Italian woman. What if I was Jordan Belfort? What is my wife gonna cook for me? That's just gonna be great. I feel like you make chicken parm. I feel like she makes an outstanding chicken parm. I think you go and you treat yourself to a huge meal like she would post getting a divorce from her rich husband. Make a lovely chicken parm. You make some tiramisu for dessert, and you drink an Aperol spritz while you cook.
Ooh!
I think she'd treat me right, and you know what? That's why I'm gonna treat myself right, and I'm gonna make this meal for myself before I watch this movie. But my alternative option it's very inspired. Pre this podcast recording that we're doing right now, I found myself in a position where I was eating the meal of a man that would glorify this movie and who would have this poster on his wall. It's kind of like that time of the night. It's like 10:44. We're recording right now. I was like, okay, I already ate dinner a couple hours ago. My stomach's rumbling. I need something. Don't have anything in the house. What do I have? I've got 4 pieces of bacon exactly. I just slapped them on. Not even a sandwich. I didn't make a sandwich. I just put them in between white bread.
That's so sad.
That's how, like, that's one of those things, like, I grew up, like, whenever, like, someone, like, cooked bacon, like, on Sunday or whatever, Sunday morning, you wake up, someone's cooked bacon, you just put a little bacon in between a piece of white bread. There you go. I'd say you could either make yourself a gorgeous chicken parm, or you make 4 pieces of bacon in between white bread, and you drink a fucking IPA. I drink an IPA because I can't chug it, and I shouldn't be chugging drinks like it's water. But you could take the college man, the college business guy stance, and drink an IPA to look like you're fucking cool.
Right? Yeah, or honestly, like a Bud Light. Yeah, but not even like you've taken 12 credits of undergraduate business courses. Like, you know that, like, profit plus revenue equals net or whatever the fucking formula is. Clearly I didn't go to business school, but you've hardly a minor, even a minor in business is the T. I also hate the, like, sell me this pen. And at the beginning, when he asked Brad, he's like, Brad, sell me this pen. Brad's like, write down your name. And he's like, I don't have a pen. And he's like, boom, just sold it to you. And then at the end, when his whole, like, shtick during his seminars is like, sell me this pen. Literally, it makes me, like, it raises my body degree temperature, like, 3, because I'm, like, fucking infuriated. I'm like, this is so stupid!
Yep.
This is so stupid!
Ridiculous.
But, and, like a businessy school bro who's like, sell me this pen. I'm like, fucking shove it up your ass, David. But so what would you follow this up with? I have a movie and I have an activity suggestion.
Interesting. It's not doing drugs, is it?
No, it's Monopoly.
Okay. I like that a lot, actually.
I think you're, like, on the capitalist high that is Wolf of Wall Street. And, like, if you're with the right group of people, play a fucking dirty game of Monopoly. Like, cheat a little bit, swindling, back deals.
Yeah.
Breaking, relationships are ending, enemies sworn for life type Monopoly game shit. I think, like, the energy of this movie would really make for an intriguing game of Monopoly. That. As I'm a board game person, so, like, that was where my mind went. But then my movie suggestion, Wolf of Wall Street. Wolves. Werewolf. New Moon.
Ooh!
The kind of wolf I can get behind. Jacob Black. So you watch the second installment of the Twilight Saga, you watch New Moon. That's my suggestion.
I like that a lot. I also really like the Monopoly idea. I think that's genius. I also sort of took a similar stance because I feel like if you have decided to watch a 3-hour movie, I am assuming that you have all day to yourself to spend and do whatever you want. And Monopoly is going to require that. But I said, since you've got time to kill, I feel like you need to watch another, like, 3 or 4 hour movie. And I've got a couple of options for you. None of them are particularly adjacent to the Wolf of Wall Street.
That's what you need, though. You need a breath of fresh air after this one.
So, I mean, like, fucking Gone with the Wind. Go watch fucking Gone with the Wind. Or something like that.
I hate that movie.
But also, far away from this movie, you could watch The Sound of Music.
Oh my god.
Or if you're looking for something that's more recent and relevant in today's day and age, go watch The Batman. Honestly, I think that'd be a good one. But also at the same time, if you're not looking for a 3-hour movie, you could watch something that feels a bit more adjacent. If you are looking for something adjacent, you could watch American Hustle. It came out around the same time. It's also got a fucking all-star cast, minus Jeremy Renner. Um, so there's that. Or if you just want to watch a Martin Scorsese that is far away from this, just go fucking watch Hugo.
Yeah, right. Go watch Hugo. That movie's wild. Sacha Baron Cohen's in it. Like, what? I loved that book growing up. Like, I was a stan. So when that movie came out, I remember like opening night, I was there. Like, I was a Hugo stan. But those are some pretty good options. Just long. The theme is long. Yeah. But I do think as a male manipulator marathon, if you wanted to do Fight Club, American Psycho, Wolf of Wall Street, that like really the order in which we've watched them for this show has really like gotten my gears a turning.
We did this right.
It's really right. It's made for some interesting thought processes that I typically head empty, no thoughts. Yeah. And now I'm like maybe one thought. So you know, take with that what you will. But yeah, so this has been our 4th installment of Male Manipulator March. We've got one more.
What are we gonna rate this movie?
Oh, I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6. I think 7 actually. It is very entertaining. Yeah. It's one of the, well, do I think it's a great movie? No, but I had fun watching it, and you know what? Sometimes that's more important.
Yes. Oh yeah, I completely agree. I feel like I have this as like 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd, which is like way overshooting it. Because as soon as I put any sort of ounce of critical thought, because I think after you watch this, you're like, yeah, that movie fucking rocked, and then you like actually think about it for a second, and you're like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, there's testosterone is like radiating around me.
Right, I've grown a ball sack. I'm like doing my own taxes for some reason. I'm checking the stock market. I don't have stock. I bought an NFT of whatever Kirby. I don't believe in that shit.
If there was a Kirby NFT, I would. Maybe I might be a little interested.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so thank you for joining us. Wolf of Wall Street, week 4. I honestly don't think we still haven't picked what we're doing next week. So if y'all still have suggestions, slide into our DMs for male manipulator movies. And we have a super fun theme coming in April. Definitely is going to be a hard pivot from this. So if this was not your jam, don't worry. We're going to do some more of our, usual wacky niche film me person stuff. So going forward. And thank you, as always, for listening. If you're new here, I fucking love you. And if you're old, I fucking love you too. All of our socials are in the description below. Like I said, slide into our DMs with any suggestions. Does not have to be for male manipulator, like literally for any movie or theme or anything, chocolate or vanilla, just to say hi. Like all of your DMs are near and dear to my heart, and they make my day. As they do Emily's. I'm sure we both are like jumping. I'm like, I want to respond to this one. No, I want to respond to this one because I'm like so jazzed about it. But yeah, and our merch as well, stickers, tote bags, all that good shit. Honestly, I've been trying to do some research about how to get like swamp across the ass booty shorts put in stock, because that would just like make my life. Yeah. But it's gonna take some more, middle men than I know what to do with. So, but I'm not going to do the Matthew McConaughey chest beady thing again.
No,
like I was a little bit tempted just now, but yeah, I don't need to like send myself into cardiac arrest. So this is just us signing off. Goodbye, good night, and we love you all.